Spider-Man 2 is a sequel to the original Spider-Man that came out in 2002. Now we find most of the original cast to come back aside from Willem Dafoe. We see an established Peter Parker as Spider-Man. Now, what I like about Spider-Man 2 is that it had great character development because it showed even though Peter Parker as Spider-Man, as having a great high life as Spider-Man, his other alter ego's life, Peter Parker's life is going downhill. And I always compare Peter Parker's life as a Murphy's Law type of life because everything that can go wrong will and did go wrong in his life in this movie. He could not buy a break. He always got the short end of the stick no matter what happened in Peter Parker's life. And what I like about Spider-Man 2 is that they showed the sacrifice of a hero because even though he had a high life as Spider-Man, his personal life as Peter Parker really dwindled. Now this time around the main villain is Doc Ock. Now like I said before, I love Willem Dafoe's performance as the Green Goblin. But when Willem Dafoe was the Green Goblin for me really didn't challenge Spider-Man physically. Alfred Molina's character was not as good as Willem Dafoe's character, but the character of Doc Ock really challenged Spider-Man physically. Every fight scene between Doc Ock and Spider-Man, especially that train scene, was amazing, no pun intended. But all the fight scenes in this movie was very well choreographed by Sam Raimi. For me, Spider-Man 2 was a great sequel to the original Spider-Man because it had more than what we expected in the first movie. It had character development, a good storyline, a good enemy, and good fight scenes and good action. Now the only problem I really had with the movie was Kristen Dunst. For me, I really can't stand Kristen Dunst because I always find her to be annoying no matter what part she does. But for the most part, her performance did not drag down Spider-Man 2. I think Spider-Man 2 is a great sequel to the original Spider-Man. I always thought Spider-Man 2 is a notch above Spider-Man. So that's why I'm going to give Spider-Man 2 a good 4 stars out of 4. So, if you like this review, please rate, comment, subscribe. Subscribing does help. And until next time, Movie Nation.